Mabar-ish hero, right? We've seen him on Yuzong, not so hot. The CC is a good pick too if they want to go for it, but yeah, CC is still
guys,
fine, right? CC,
kita masuk di game kelima antara
far side is
Indonesia
fine.
versus Turki.
If you want to show your Freddy now, I wouldn't mind. Oh wait,
Fanny
okay,
Diven
not
Kimi
no,
Hayabusa
because they can pick
Grok
up an export.
Yes.
Uranus
I
Baxia.
feel like it has to be a second phase pick.
First
Right.
pick Indonesia Gatot Caca guys. Kita lihat mapnya Dangerous Grass.
So they are gonna go for the Yuzong and
Yuzong
Lancelot.
Okay, well,
Some semblance of that game one, and it will be the Joy Angela. All right. Okay, so we are reverting a bit to that game one.
Ada Joy, ada Angela.
So this is Indonesia in their comfortablest
Oh man,
pick.
if only they didn't pick the Lancelot, I would call for a Fredrin pick and then you ban out X-Borg. So okay, it's a tricky spot to be in.
Yeah, that's why I did not want Team Turkiye to pick up their jungler now. They can still go for the Esmeralda, and I think it's still serviceable.
I agree, but then you lock yourself into double fighters.
Bisa aja
And you
tuh,
don't have a
Lancelotnya jadiin god lane
and you
aja
don't
guys.
have YSS. Lunox, good solution, right? A decent solution to deal with it.
But this is maybe because
Ambil Fredrin
we
jungle.
handle MPL Malaysia, and we know the best Malaysian team basically has the mindset if it's not banned, I'm still gonna pick it up. I'm not too sure I'm liking every single game they're changing the strategy when you clearly know what works.
Right, it's like, why change it when it works?
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. It makes sense. It definitely makes sense. But when the results keep changing, that's when questions start to pop up. At least for me.
When it's not broken, why fix it? Something along that line. Though, you can still ban out like powerful picks like Hilda. I do like it. I think X-Borg needs to be considered also.
Actually, Turkey does not have a lot of...
Kalea di ban.
Wait, they can pick X-Borg, right? They can, I mean, Turkey can consider. Though I think like the Roma is a lot more important right now.
I feel like, yeah, Team Turkey...
Kita lihat, ini udah game terakhir guys.
Ban out Esme.
Siapa yang menang, dia yang menang. Siapa yang kalah, dia yang kalah guys.
Yeah, gonna go for that ban.
If the Yuzong wasn't there, or I would even consider Fredrin XP lane. If there's a room for it, it will be a Lapu ban by Turkey.
Lapu
They
di
can
ban.
still consider X-Borg if they want to, since they already have good damage profile with the Lance and the Lunox. It's not too bad of a pick.
Yeah.
You are looking for something that can deal with the lane alone. You have, and then you need a very strong roamer to hold the front. And I think that's going to be the challenge for Apex.
As of right now, I think the high loss is still fine-ish because there's not a lot of shred from Indonesia just yet.
I think with Franco again, if they really want to, you have an Angela +1.
Yeah, but then you just pick 5, so you're basically showing whether this Lunox is gonna go mid or gold.
Yeah, I think you. Who do you want to hide? I think that's the question. A part of me feels like you want to get the best possible Roma choice.
Esmeralda.
I would actually legit
Bandnya yang band yang sangat bagus.
because it's Angela mid. There's no burst damage that will take out the Faraga armor.
Yep, and that's why I think if you want that gotcha Franco, you can just run it back, right? You have a decent damage to take out whoever comes in with the Angela. You just need to be able to bob and weave around some of these conditions in the fight.
Because for Team Indonesia now, they're showing the Angela, unless they're gonna do something crazy and put Angela, Rome, and Gata in Iesf or something, they're not gonna be having range damage or like a safe range damage.
Ruby is also not that
Ruby.
bad into what Indonesia has.
Yeah, into the Joy, into the Gatot.
They take the export, right? That's what I'm worried about. That was what I was worried about for the side of Turkey.
Wow,
if that export
amazing.
goes to, they don't pick it. Indonesia has a good window to take it, and now they are in a bit of a pickle.
And export, Hylos is a bad pick, so they basically do have to go for the Franco because CC can drop you down fast, export can drop you down fast, so they have to go for Franco.
We sort of knew that this Franco was coming in the last pick. It's more of what that fourth pick was going to be. I personally feel like X-Borg is still a better fourth pick for Turkey.
I think Turkey, their draft will work if Lunox can kill the, or at least destroy the Faraga armor fast. Because if not, you know Team Turkey with this draft, they will clump up.
Yes.
If they clump up, hey, the export is gonna be one very happy fiery boy.
Yeah.
Mereka
So
ngambil Franco guys,
we sort
bahaya
of
sih.
forecasted how the draft is going to be. I personally still feel like export was a better choice, but you know, potato potato. I think Ruby can still work. You get some good catch, right? You trade a bit of that export fighting power for the catch that can help Lunox for Rosa in the mid lane. But this is all for the marbles. A podium finish and a bronze medal plus the prize pool on top of that. Indonesia up against Turkiye in this bronze match best of 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to jump in the final game in the bronze matchup to determine who will be the third place of WEC 2025. Is it going to be
Yakin sih
Turkiye
ini
or
Indonesia menang.
Indonesia?
Back to where it all started and how it was designed. Dangerous grass just like game 1 and a Franco on Turkiye, Angela for Indonesia. So some throwbacks. Hopefully it pans out slightly differently for Indonesia. And 9, the 8.5 to 10-minute mark is where we're going to be looking at for Indonesia, because that snowball will wear off, forcing on the flicker from Apex 47, but Iesf did trade his for that.
Yep. Look at his team Indonesia. They're already scouting inside the jungle, trying to slow down TNZ just a little bit. But it looks like Team Turkiye, they understand this kind of draft. They can't be super aggressive. They just gotta make sure that they trade safely. So TNZ is gonna be uninteractive for a while.
Yeah. And mid priority should theoretically be given over to Indonesia, but they don't want to shove the wave. And I think that's a smart move. You want to force Turkiye to feel slightly more uncomfortable, especially you dealing with a Joy. And as a Lunox, you are the most vulnerable pre-level 4 without the Brilliance.
And we can even see the positioning from Rosa. He understands that he is gonna get ganked. And Joe is thinking about it because Rosa is not level 4 just yet. TNZ has to come up in mid to make sure that Rosa does not get denied of those minions.
Yep, have to toss in some help. Second time that Joe was thinking about launching himself in, but good housekeeping from Turkiye to prevent that from happening. Now Joe spotted in the bottom lane, taking the XP grab. To a certain degree, Apex 47 is also doing a pretty good job. TNZ finds Witty, knows that there's no kill angle. Turtle spawn spot.
Yeah, looking at Turtle right now. Looks like TNZ is out of the fight there. And Rosa gets kill onto Witty.
Good stuff. And he even takes the turtle away. Rosa takes everything into his own hands.
It looks like Rosa really needed that 10-minute break. Because look at this, he's performing on the far side, now on the Lunox. And Team Turkiye, they're not losing by 1,000 gold in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and they have completed the first step in dealing with this Angela draft, right? Deny turtle, deny kills. Aran needs the help of their hard guards, and TNZ a lot more comfortable in his own environment. And Joe again missing the timing. Will get the XP grab as consolation prize, but Turkiye is handling this very well.
And right now, Witty uses Unbreakable onto Apex 47. Gotta be careful in case the Iron Hook comes in, hits onto Witty.
And Rosa should have the damage with the Darkening, and he's just piercing through Witty. The hard guard even used, but it didn't matter.
And we can see some hesitation there, because Ezekiel will be like, if I do this, can you survive? Is it even really worth it? And then he uses it just a little bit too late. Earlier, maybe able to save him out. And you can even just cancel it so that you're not in trouble yourself. So Indonesia is starting things a little bit rough here. Team Turkiye has clear momentum.
I mean, Rosa has, you know, like 2 kills already. So that's not gonna be easy, you know. 2 kills straight for the Lunox in the early game. It accelerates the gameplay and it makes it even hard to manage. Lunar uses the Petrify Black Dragon form a bit late. Tries to trade Rehead's kill, but wasn't able to do so. So it's gonna be a tough situation to manage. AOG drops in, Apex 47 will have to take the brunt and the fall for it. Rosa brilliance to safety. Rehead's kill finds the kill, but Rosa looking to run away. Good Witty with the tank, forces out the flicker and Cycle Knife from Rosa. Turkiye taking a bit of the fall, but still able to cut losses.
All right. Taking over for Lafel for a short moment here. I have no idea what's going on because I haven't been paying attention. But it's okay because we're all here for a good time anyway. Game number 5, Turtle, going to be secured by Team Indonesia. Looking at they're actually trying to fight.
Not a problem there for Witty, right? Still, I think without Rosa, you won't have the output yet to take him down. Welcome back, by the way.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
So
to be here.
you did think it through of staying until the end?
Stuff just happened.
Stuff just happened.
So what have I been missing? What's the state of the game right now for me and everyone else?
Well, whoever wins this gets some prize pool.
No, I mean like the game
No,
itself. We know that. We know what's going on.
I mean,
outside the game.
I would
in
say,
the game.
yeah, well, Turkey is being very comfortable, right? You can comfortable in their skin, but also very comfortable with how the game is going. I think they have adapted to what Indonesia is bringing to the table. Lunos getting 2 kills in the early game definitely makes it feel a lot better.
That is true. 2 kills.
Oh.
That's a hook.
Witty gets pulled back, very durable, but he cannot survive Phantom Execution. That's TNZ finding one. Lunar, gets a Furious Dive. Baran is bleeding out. Black Dragon form is enough with the help of Rosa. Even cuts through the vengeance. Iesf, he wants one in return, but Rosa lets him eat the damage from Brilliance. Double kill for Lunox.
Team Turkiye definitely coming on top right now, and looks like they found Kabuki as well.
Aduh.
Right to the chest, TNZ with his second.
Looks like you weren't kidding about Team Turkiye looking even more comfortable. Their victory in game number 4 certainly gave them the momentum they needed. And they are aware they are this close from placing on the podium. The Angela pick on the side of Team Indonesia means their scaling may come into question the longer the game goes as well.
So what we saw set up early on where it feels like a throwback, a deja vu to game 1 where you have Angela on Indonesia, you have Franco for Turkiye, dangerous grass. Apex 47's impact has been pretty good. Well, that's a lot of commitment just for that Franco. Sigibon will try to bail him out of this, but he still goes down, and now Lunar barely escapes thanks to the Furious Dive. But I think Turkiye not too disheartened about that.
Yeah, definitely not. As long as they can maintain the gold lead moving forward, they'll still be in a very comfortable position since they will have the Lunox and the Landslot to scale into the late game. Now, Indonesia will largely need to play together, and we can see that they are positioning to take advantage of that, but Turkiye still want this.
Finds the taunt onto Sigibon. He flickers away and survives from now. Trim and Petrify! Lunar!
Aduh, berat lah cok, Ruby cok.
Witty down low, and there's McKenzie finding a killing spree. Brilliant for Rosa to survive. The Bookie chased away, turned around, and switched target onto Joe, forcing Iesf to get out of that as well. A run on
Aduh.
47 with the hook, and TNZ has a mega kill.
Indonesia udah kalah sama Malaysia, masa kalah lagi gitu sama Turki.
And Indonesia, I don't really know what the decision making was there. What was the call? Why did they chase so far, go under the tower, and then give up their positioning over the Lord? A great Petrify from Lunar too meant that they were completely punished for that one. They lost the turtle. The scaling is really building up. This is not looking too good.
Not at all. Even Sigibon just eats the full damage. Let's get the hook, the drag back in, so that's a saving grace, I guess, for Joe and Iesf. But now these bushes are a lot more dangerous because Apex 47 has been on the money with those hooks. Turkish Delight again into a bloody hunt. Finding execution, Witty desperately trying to hold on but cannot withstand TNZ. If the
Aduh, Indonesia.
Thorn rolls, good footwork, Kabuki. Saying a prayer there. No Black Dragon form for Turkiye. Mid-tier 2 will go down.
Ooh, that was close. The hook almost landed on Aran. Is able to avoid that. But if Witty, who is one of the tankier members of Indonesia, is melting that quickly, we know that Rosa is farmed. And the more Rosa holds on to this snowball, the more space that Turkiye gets to continue pushing their lead forward. Looking at itemization, they're actually playing this very offensively. Apex 47 with the first item, Winter Crown, not even bothering to find defense items because he knows that he's in a perfectly fine state. Even a potential fleeting time after. Oh, Rosa!
Can they kill him? Nope. Brilliance. Quick way out. Last sanity. Not a problem. Rosa disengages.
A pick off there would have been crucial for Team Indonesia. If they can shut down this Lunox, they buy themselves precious minutes. But Rosa has been popping off so far. He's not going to make that mistake. So it is a question of why he was that far off in the first place. With multiple ultimates utilized on Indonesia, Turkiye actually have an even easier time securing this Lord. Apex 47, no tank items, and he alone just needs to stand there to keep Indonesia out of their own jungle.
Worth mentioning that Rosa also picked up the Wishing Lantern during his great escape. Okay, that hook goes wide. Apex 47 has a Winter Crown. Just got his fleeing time. And Winter Crown right now. They're gonna pullback onto Kabuki. Oh my goodness, Aran, where did you go? Where did disintegrate? Rosa is unstoppable. They commit the Black Dragon form from Lunar at the cost of Apex.
Apex goes down, but the Winter Crown buys enough time for them to get the I'm Offended pull in and then the blow up on Aran and Witty. Now, Indonesia being able to get any trade at this point is actually not too bad for them considering the goal difference we're looking at. But Turkiye are feeling it. You can see them. They're taunting in the face of their opponents. The Lord is pushing in now.
This is the most confident we've seen Turkiye in the entire tournament. Siggy Boom not able to get the pull back, but it is fine. No structural damage, more substantial one at least for Indonesia to get a very straightforward base defense. Inhibitors all stand. 7.7k goal lead for Turkiye.
Something big needs to happen here, Team Indonesia. Remember the stakes. This is the last game of a best-of-5 series for that third placing. If you lose this, you walk away from WEC making it through this entire journey without a share of the prize pool. Definitely not a good feeling. In terms of damage done as well, Rosa obviously dominating the top of the charts, but the only person really being able to put out a bit of a fair place is Kabuki on this X-Borg. And he can no longer feel safe about standing in front too. The burst damage from Team Turkiye is sufficient to actually blast that Virago armor off straight away. They have to play together, but even when they are grouped up, it's not sufficient. This would normally be the counterplay to something like a Franco, but it isn't sufficient. Fleeting time, count completed, Apex and going for even more plays.
Siggy Boom wanted more, but only found one. The Don't Run Wolf King actually controls 3 of them though. Another commitment from the side of Indonesia, but only ends in the death of Aran. The Black Dragon form is out as well. Lunar zoning the rest of Indonesia away. Willy goes down. And Turkiye looking to continue that damage. Siggy Boom comes in with the pullback. Yehescu does survive that. Minion wave still a bit of a distance away, but Indonesia unable to show resistance at all. They have the hard guard on Kabuki, but the plan is going with the last sanity. They're all clumped up together, but Turkiye could win the crown from Apex 47. Siggy Boom with the pullback. Joe is gone. Tianzi goes to well right through Kabuki.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at what could be the greatest upset of the entire tournament right here. So many times Team Turkiye could have been picked off right there. They were even baiting Indonesia into the fight. They know how much of a lead they have, and they were not punished for it at all. Apex was the only person to go down, but Franco isn't really worth all that much. 12 minutes in, 9k goal lead in favor of Team Turkiye. Rosa still undefeated, 607 on the Lunox. This is Turkiye's late game core, completely enabled off of early game snowballing. And Tianzi's no slouch either. Team Indonesia hasn't been able to put farm in on Joe and their other heroes who are meant to be able to create the space necessary for them through the early to mid game are just not relevant at all.
More than 10k goal lead, and the second Lord about to march onto the map. Indonesia might be on their last legs, to be very honest, and I agree, this could be the biggest upset of this tournament. A podium finish from Turkiye would be a glorious finisher to what has been one of the more rocky journeys in the entire tournament. They're the only one that came into the playoffs, or at least into the top 4, without a perfect record. They have dropped games in the group stage.
Team Turkiye has been quite the stalwart presence in the scene for a while. It's not too big of a surprise that they'd be able to get a podium finish at an international tourney eventually, but the biggest surprise is that it may come at the expense of Team Indonesia. Of all regions in the world, one of the most decorated, currently staring down the face of the barrel. Lord's pushing in, let's see if Team Turkiye can do it!
They find a pullback on the Kabuki, his Braga armor. It's actually stays, Rosa not able to blow it up, but Tianzi looking for a freestyle moment. He has skill force back. Good iframes with the Thorn roll. Tianzi gets jumped on. Immortality is out.
Ya ampun cuk. Astaga.
Tianzi is legendary. Aran now next on the list. And Apex will grab him back. Kabuki explodes. But Siggy Boom is in. Turkiye.
Oh, nggak bisa guys. Aduh.
Present warriors to doubts and trials, tribulations have completed the conquest. A podium finish in the WEC25. Team Turkiye are your bronze medalists.
Team Turkiye has made a statement to the world world of mobile legends. It does not matter your history. It does not matter your accolades. In this era, anything is possible. Team Indonesia concludes their WEC journey in 4th place. We have 2 new podium finishes guaranteed.
Slightly short of last year's performance where they finished 3rd, but for Turkiye, the Crescent Soldiers, they've definitely set a new milestone for themselves. The Turkish definitely delighted with this performance. They clip the wings of the Garuda and take over the skies themselves. To land or sky, Turkiye is the one that you remember tonight. With that being said, congratulations to Team Turkiye. Let's head over to the stage with Rose and Turkiye.